Yeah, till yesterday we have discussed about SQL Server and then SSIS, right? So SQL Server is used to store data in it, and then SSIS is used to load data from various sources into a SQL Server database, right? So now, so once you fetch data from multiple sources and load it into your database in the form of tables, so what do you need to do with the data, right? So being stored in the database, so only the developers can utilize the data, correct? Because developers only can know how to query a SQL Server database, right? But that is not the proper formatting as well, right? And if you want to use some color coding and all, or if you want to use some filters, every time you need to change the query. All right. So instead of viewing the data in SQL Server window, we'll show it in the reporting format in the form of visualizations with better uh, uh, background color, foreground color, and then we can give user to select the parameters. Right. So for that purpose, we'll just create reports using the data which we have stored in the SQL Server. Right. So there are multiple tools in market for reporting services like SSRS which we are using, and then Crystal reports, and SAP BO is there. Okay, and we do have Oracle BO, Oracle Forms and Reports, I guess. Right. For SQL, it is from Microsoft. It is SSRS, and then these are the like traditional reporting tools where we can display the data in the form of tablets or matrix. Right. So tablets is nothing but a table format. Okay. And recently few new tools came into market, which is the visualization tools, data visualization, which are like Power BI and then Tableau. So these are the two most, maybe MicroStrategy also. I cannot say MicroStrategy is fully data visualization tool, but yeah. And these two are very popular in market now, Power BI or Tableau. Power BI is from Microsoft product, right? So these two are like data visualization, but data visualization is nothing but where we can show our maps, bar graphs, charts, right? So visually we can show the data, so instead of showing it in the tabular format, right? So for that purpose we'll use Power BI, Tableau, but for traditional reports these are the best tools we can say, right? So you can hear like Tableau or Power BI, but this is good for visualization part, like building a bar graph, charts, right? And for traditional data tablexes kind of reports, it's better to use SSRS. Even in my project also, for tabular basic reports we'll use SSRS, and for visualization we'll use Tableau, right? We are using both the tools. Okay. And it's always better to learn a traditional reporting tool, and then if you are interested you can learn either of them once you get into the real-time project, once you get offer letter, and based on your project you can learn either of them, right? If it is required, otherwise SSRS is enough, right? So now let's talk about SSRS. Okay, so SSRS is nothing but SQL Server reporting services. SQL Server reporting services. Okay, so it is just the inbuilt BI stack. So MSBI is a stack which includes SQL Server, SSIS, SSRS, and then SSIS, which we are not covering as part of the training, which is analysis services. We can say data warehouse concepts, right? So when it comes to SSRS, so like SSIS, we have control flow, data flow, right? So we do have an architecture for SSRS. Let's discuss about SSRS architecture. So the architecture contains report designer, data sources, report manager, report builder, report server, and then report server database. report server, database. These are the components of SSRS or maybe SSRS architecture we can say. So if you want to view in visually, maybe let's use it here, SSRS architecture or components. I'll show you visually. Yeah. Here you can see it, right? So report designer, report server, report manager, report builder, report server database, and then data sources. See, what does the report builder or report designer is nothing but, see here, you can see these two are vertical, right? So these are horizontal to this one, right? So these two, and you can see directly report builder is connected to report manager, and then report server is also connected to report manager, right? So all these three are linked to report server, but these three is linking to report manager, right? So I'll start the explanation with the report designer. So report designer is nothing but it's a tool where we'll use the Visual Studio. Using that, we'll design the SSRS reports like we did SSIS. There will be a designer for SSRS as well using the Visual Studio only, right? So there we'll create basic reporting. But report builder is nothing but it is a ad hoc tool where, like, if you observe clearly with the SCD, when you open the SCD, it is like select next, 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 and then finish, right? So the same way for report builder also, the options are like similar. So you won't get much design options like report designer, and report builder is nothing but we'll call it as ad hoc reporting, where even the business users also can create their own reports. But this is not user friendly, right? You will not get much options in the report builder, but whereas using report designer, you will get all the developer features to use it. Okay, that are the differences, but in real time we'll use report designer only. Maybe the end users who wanted to create some ad hoc reports based on the data, you can use report builder, right? And then see, to create any report you need data, right? So to get data into SSRS report, we use data sources. A data source is nothing but connection to the database, like we have connection managers in SSIS, right? The same way, data source is nothing but connection to the SQL Server data source. Not only SQL Server, but in our case it is SQL Server. And then once you create reports in the Visual Studio, you will just deploy or you will just upload the reports to the report server. It is a web URL, right? Like HTTP link will be there. You need to deploy those SSRS reports into the web URL, which is report server, right? So once you deploy it, to manage all these reports, like creating subscriptions, there is a concept called subscriptions, and then managing the report server URLs, like whom do you need to give that report link, all those permissions will be given in the report manager, right? Here we'll manage all of our SSRS RDL. Whom do you need to give the report permissions, or whether we need to send out an email to the users once you upload the SSRS RDL, right, at a particular time. All those stuff you can create in the report manager. And then reports our database is nothing but, see, whatever you are creating here in the Visual Studio, there will be backend data will be storing for all these navigations. Like you will be giving access, creating a roles I told, right? So for that backend, it has to store data. So that is nothing but reporting server databases. So for that, you just need to connect to the SQL Server reporting services here, right? So if you connect to reporting services, we don't have access here, but in real time, you need to connect to reporting services option. They'll give you the server name, right? So being junior developers, maybe you all can put only below 4 years experience, right? Or up to 4.5 years, right? So they won't allow you to do all this stuff. Why? Because this is related to the client side, right? So mostly your team lead or manager will be doing all this permission related stuff. So being a developer, you will just create the RDL and then upload the RDL to report server, right? And then the report manager work, mostly your team lead or manager will be taking care. Your part is just design the reports using the report designer and then deploy it to the report server. Okay. Any questions, guys, with the components of SSRS? Guys, did I share MSBA material with you? No, the SSIS and SSRS material. Like I said.
No.
Okay, I'll share it today.
Only SQL.
Yeah, I'll share it today. Okay. That is not much useful. Maybe SQL he's having a lot of in-depth in it, but MSBI material you won't much be useful. It won't be much useful for you. But anyway, I'll send you. But follow my SQL material, guys. It will be very useful. It is having a lot of information in that. That is T-SQL material. Okay. And then now, so if you want to create any reports, you need to use Visual Studio, right? So this is SSIS. I'm just opening another instance of Visual Studio, which is SQL Server Data Tools. In my case, you just search the Visual Studio and then open it. And once you open, like you opened integration services, the same way, create a new project. And here in the left side, you can see reporting services. For you, it is the newest version, right? Maybe somewhere in the right side of the window here, if you scroll down at the bottom, you can see the reporting services, where you find the integration services. Just below that, you can see reporting services. And you can see here two options: report server, project wizard, and then report server project. See, everywhere you can see wizard means it is just click next, and then finish, right? So you won't get much development options. So don't choose a report server project wizard, choose report server project. It will give you, or it will enable all the developer options. So give your project a name. I'll just give my first SSRS report. And then browse the path where you want to store your reports. So in October 2021, I'll just create a folder called SSRS. And then I'll store my reports over there. I'll save it. Okay. So now it is opening Visual Studio of SSRS, right? So if you go to Solution Explorer, you can see here share data source, share data set, and then reports, right? So for the first time, you need to just right click on the report and then add new item. Okay, since there is no reports added here, but in SSIS you'll get by default SSIS package, right? But in SSRS you won't get it, you need to add it. So for that, go to solution, right click on the report, go to add new item, and then select the report here. I told you, right, ignore the report wizards. So use the report and then give a report a name. Okay, I'll just give basic report. This is the report name, and you can see here RDL. All right, so RDL is nothing but report definition language. Guys, what does DDA, how does SSRS will be stored, SSIS will be stored? Extension of SSIS.
.dtsx.
What does that mean?
Data transmission
Services extensible. So try to remember that, guys. We don't know, right? Few interviews may ask that. So try to remember that as well. And here all the reports will be shared with .rdl. RDL means report definition language. Okay. And SSIS backend, it will be saved with XML format. Okay. That are you also have to remember that as well. See, if you click on view code here, SSIS, you can see all XML. See, these are the XML tags. So our SSIS is built on using XML language. Okay. They may ask you a question on this as well. Even SSR is also same. Okay. Now, once you add RDL here, so it will open up report designer. This is the designer part. You can see design and then preview. So design is nothing but where you want to design your report. And in the left side, you can see built-in fields, which means the SSRS variables or parameters. We can say these are the default report name, report folder, right? So like global variables, these are the inbuilt fields, and then parameters you can see as of now, no parameter is created. And then images, data source, and then data set. See here, if you observe data source and data set, if you go to Solution Explorer, can you see here share data source and share data set, right? So in the left side, in the report data, you can see data source and data set. Guys, if report data is not enabled for you, go to here view, and you can see report data at the bottom, right? So by default for me it is enabled. If it did not enable you, so go to view and then click on the report data. This page will appear, right? And also you need toolbox also. So can you see anywhere toolbox here? There is a toolbox, and if it is not visible, you can just go to view and then add the toolbox. Okay, same properties window also. Check all these windows are enabled or not. If not, go to view and then enable it. Okay, now coming back to data source, data set, and then share data source and then share data set. So basically data source is nothing but connection to the data server, which is SQL Server or Oracle, whatever it is, connection to the database. And now data set is nothing but, see, once you connect to a database, you need to fetch data from the table, right? So that will handle it in the data set part, like querying a database. So using data set, we'll just query the database using the SQL code, right? So using data source, we'll just connect to the SQL Server, and then using data set, we'll query the database tables using a SQL commands, right? And then if you create data source and data set, it is just only used in the basic report, only for this report. And if you create share data source and share data set, it can be utilized in any of the RDLs here in the solution. So in this solution, this is the first RDL, right? If you add few more RDLs here, you can use this share data source and share data set in any of the RDLs you have created in the solution. That's the difference. Share data set and then normal data set or data source. If you create in the report data, it can be accessed only for this report, basic report. And if you create it here, and if you add one more RDL here, you can use this share data source in any of the RDLs in the solution. This is the solution, and under reports you can see multiple RDLs. Okay, I'll tell you that maybe in further classes. For now, let me tell you the basic reports. So first, we need to create a data source, right? Maybe let me start with share data source only. So add new data source, and then give data source a name. I'm gonna use ds underscore adw. Adw is nothing but AdventureWorks database. AdventureWorks. Okay. I'm giving the name, that's it. DS is nothing but data source. And then here you can see type. So in the type, you can see these many databases you can connect. Okay. And then click on edit. Give here your server name. My server name is Lenovo-PC. And you can see here your databases. So I'm going to use AdventureWorks here. I'm selecting it. And you can see here two ways of authenticating here, Windows authentication and then SQL Server authentication. If your SQL Server is designed with SQL Server authentication, you need to provide username and password. So in real time, if there is a SQL authentication for your server, your teammates will give you a username and password to that server. If it is not, use Windows authentication. Okay. And then once you choose the database, click on test connection. See that? Okay. Click on okay. So you have created a shared data source. See, once you create here, we can use that shared data source here. All right. So I have created here, right? So I have just created a shared data source and which will connect to the SQL Server database. Now I'll use that one. How to use that is right click and add data source. And give this a name. Here also I'll just give ds underscore adw. And you can see there is an option here. Use shared data source reference. If you click that, you can see this name. See, whatever you have created, you can use that, right? So if not, if you want to create, use this option. That's it. Again, same, edit, use the server name and password, right? So if you use shared data source, you can use any times in the solution for n number of RDLs. Okay, that is what the difference between shared data source and then normal data source. If you create a shared data source also, for each RDL you have to use a data source again, right? So if you create here, directly you can just use this option and point it instead of again giving the username and then passwords, right? So instead of that, to avoid, we can use shared data source and then point it here. Click on, okay. Right? So now I have connected to my SQL Server, which is Lenovo-PC, and the database is AdventureWorks DW2012, right? So I did not access any of the tables here, but I just connected to my database. So now what I'm gonna do is, so I just want to create a report for dim geography table. Yeah, here, right? So I'm gonna use this table as my reporting. So let me copy the query. Here I'll just remove top 1000. Why? Because it will retrieve only top 1000 records. But as of now, we have only 655, but make sure you should not use top 1000. And then as I told you, right, so always use with no lock. So what does it will do, guys, if you use with no lock? Any idea? Did I tell or not?
No, we
Okay.
didn't tell that. No.
Mhm. See, with no lock, so basically with no lock is nothing but if let's say for this same table, dim geography, I am trying to selecting a data from this table, and at the same time my teammate is trying to insert data into it, right? So at a time, if you are trying to do multiple operations on the same table, the database doesn't know which operation it has to perform first, whether it for insert operation it has to respond first or for select, right? So because of that reason, it will go on ideal state. So the query will keep on running if you execute it. If you execute normal plain select statement also, sometimes it will go on executing itself. So that is nothing but a deadlock situation we'll call. Deadlocks in SQL Server. I thought I have told you deadlocks. Okay. So deadlock is nothing but when when developer, 2 or 3 developers are trying to access a single table, like selecting a data or updating or inserting a data, and the database doesn't know which operation it has to respond first, so it will go on ideal state. That is nothing but a deadlock. And sometimes if it is not a deadlock, if you are trying to fetch data here and someone is trying to insert it, right? So whatever the data he is inserting, only part of the data you can fetch it here. Why? Because the insertions are still going on. So that is partial data, not fully complete data, right? So why? Because the insertion is going on still. But if you use with no lock, what happens, so irrespective of the other insert operation, it will fetch only the previous records, whatever the table is having. It will not consider the recent insert statement records. That also the benefit of with no lock. So always try to use with no lock when you are selecting a data, not only in the reports, even in SQL Server also. If you are creating a joins, and after each table, you have to give with no lock. Okay. And if you have any alias names, just give after with no lock alias names. Okay. So for now, I'm just using this table as my reporting table. So I'm copying the select statement and I will create a data set now. Right click, add data set, use embedded in my report, use the data source. And then here you can see 2 options, text and then stored procedure, right? So stored procedure in the sense, if you have stored procedure, you can see all of them here. Whatever is the stored procedure, it is there in the database, you can. So you can call either stored procedure in reporting or directly you can paste your code here. Okay. And then give a data set name. So I'll just give ds underscore my table name, dim geography. So that if any new person see identifies also, okay, this data set is being called dim geography table, right? So once you paste your query, try to click on refresh fields here. Why? Because it will see if any syntax error is there, it will throw error. Otherwise, it will just stay calm. And then once you refresh it, go to fields, and you can see your fields here. So if data query is perfect, we can see the fields. So that's why you have to make sure whether all the fields are appearing here or not, right? So then click on OK. See here, you can see all of your columns. Okay. Now you have connected to database, and then you have queried the database as well using the select statement in the data set, right? So now you need to show these table data in the reporting format. So for that, go to toolbox, and you can see here majorly Tablix and then matrix. Okay. So let's discuss about Tablix. Okay. For now, I'm just dragging the Tablix. Tablix is nothing but a table where we can add columns in only the row wise. Only the row you can add it. See here you can see two parts. One is header and the other one is data. So header is nothing but the naming conventions, how you want to display the data, that is header part. And then data in the sense, in the second row you can see actual data. See, once you click on here, you can see there is one icon here. So if you click on it, you can see the columns in whatever the data set you have created, those columns it will be appeared here. So choose the column names. In SSRS, instead of column, we'll just call it as a field name. Okay, we'll call it as a field. So choose the fields here, and then I'll select state name. And if you see, by default, it will add only 3 columns. So if you want to add, right click, insert left or right. I'll just add right. And if you want to add left, you can add left as well. I'll add left also. Okay, I'll add right. So if you want any column here, you can add it. City and French region name. Some country region could add, right? So these are the column names you can see. So now I have just added this one. So if you go to preview, and this is under design, if you go to preview, we'll see what happens. So the first thing will take some time. So let's wait until it responds. Yeah. So this is the data. It is showing in the form of reports. Guys, what is not good here? What do you think we can improve? The table to get more appearance. What are the things we can do it for this data, for this report format?
Like highlighting that one headings, column
Headers you can
headings.
highlight, and then the borders also is not visible properly, right? Borders are
Yes.
big borders, and then you can see the names are overlapping in the 2 or 3 rows, right? It is not in a single row, and also you can see few values are cascaded. I mean, in the sense it is coming in the second line. So let's concentrate on that. So if you want to change, you can click on here anywhere, and you can see here and just drag it right. And if you want to change name also, you can change it. So I want to just use country name, and I'll just remove this part. I'll just give only the country name here. And also here, state province, I'll just use the state code. And here, state province name, instead of that, I'll just use state name. So if you want to drag, just drag it. Right? Drag it. Perfect. And now you need to make the column headers as bold. So highlight it, the header, then you can see here be bold. Okay. And if you want to give the background color, go to properties, click here and then go to properties. You can see a background color here. If you want to give, you can give it. Okay, any of the color if you want to give, maybe ash gray, you can give it gray. Okay, and then now the column borders is not highlighted, right? So for that, what you need to do is, you can see here border color, right, in the properties. As of now, it is light gray. Let's change it to black. See, now you can see the borders clearly. And also do the same, the row wise, highlight it full, and then change the border color to black. Save it. Go to preview and check the data now. Is it looking better, guys, than the previous view? Anything else we can do? Here, the still column name is coming in the second line. Maybe we need to adjust it bit right. And then anything else? Can we make the column names at the center instead of left? Column or values? Agree? So as of now, it is at the extreme left of each text box, right? So let's make it as a center. See, each box here will call it as a text box, okay? And then what you need to do is, so choose the tablets here and then, or maybe the column header. So highlight the full column header, and then here you can see center, right? Click on that, it will go center. And same row also, highlight the row and then click on center. And somewhere here I should expand bit right. Yeah. Save it, go to preview. And you can see now all the column headers are at the center and also values also in the center instead of the extreme left, right? So clear, guys? And you can see here values are coming in the pages, right? So if you want to try to adjust in a single page, what you need to do is, so click on here and you can see there is left top corner, there is an icon. So right click on that and you can see Tablix properties here. Click on that and you can see there is an option called keep together on one page if possible. So check that checkbox. It will try to display the data in a single page. Save it. And if you want to view how the report will display, go to preview. You can see now it is displayed only in the one page. All right. I can scroll down, see. Full data is displayed in a single page. Okay. So this is the basic report, guys, as part of the SSRS. And try to practice this one today. And try to open it and then practice the basic reporting. And tomorrow I'll tell you the rest all. Okay. And guys, sometimes for your data source, it will directly choose here SQL authentication. So try to check that. Okay. Use window authentication and do it. If you give any failure. Okay. Yeah.